Have you been struggling with brain fog, anxiety, low mood, or simply feeling off and wondered why? What if one important piece of the puzzle isn't actually in your brain, but in your gut? For a long time, we've been told that mental health starts and ends in the brain. So when something feels off mentally, we're told to focus on our thoughts, manage our stress, or simply push through it. But over the past couple of decades, researchers have discovered something fascinating. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication, and when your gut is out of balance, it can influence how your brain functions and how you feel. This is something I've seen not only in research, but also in the lives of women who feel stuck, overwhelmed, anxious, or mentally foggy, even when they're doing all the right things. Hi, I'm Rianne Byers, and I help faith-led women steward their health by building healthy, non-toxic lifestyles without any overwhelm, expensive overhauls, or chasing the latest wellness trends. Today, I want to show you how God designed your gut and your brain to work together and why supporting your gut may be one of the most overlooked ways to support your mental and emotional well-being. And if you're a faith-led woman who wants to better understand how your physical health connects to your mental and spiritual well-being, I've created a free resource called the Faith-Led Woman's Healthy Living Audit. It will help you identify which foundational areas of your health may need the most attention and show you exactly where to begin. In this video, I'm going to explain the gut-brain connection, how your gut communicates with your brain, the signs your gut may be affecting how you think and feel, and some simple ways you can begin supporting it naturally. So firstly, your gut and your brain are deeply connected through something that is called the gut-brain axis. For many years, scientists believed communication mainly flowed from the brain down to the gut. But now we know the conversation goes both ways. In fact, your gut is constantly sending information back to your brain, influencing everything from your digestion and immunity to your mood, your stress response, and even how clearly you think. This communication happens in three ways. First, through your nervous system. Your digestive tract contains its own network of more than 100 million nerve cells, known as the enteric nervous system. It's often called your second brain because it can regulate many digestive functions on its own while remaining in constant communication with your brain. Secondly, through the vagus nerve. Think of the vagus nerve as a communication superhighway between your gut and your brain. What's fascinating is that most of the signals traveling along this highway actually go from the gut to the brain, showing just how much influence your gut can have on the way you think and feel. And then thirdly, through chemical and immune messengers. Your gut is home to trillions of microorganisms, known collectively as the gut microbiome. Many of these beneficial microbes do far more than help digest your food. They produce vitamins, they help maintain the lining of your gut, they support your immune system, and produce or influence many of the chemical messengers your body uses to communicate, including neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. Around 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut. While that serotonin doesn't simply travel into the brain, it highlights just how closely connected the gut and nervous system are through hormones, immune signals, and the vagus nerve. So why should you care? Because if your gut is constantly sending distress signals to your brain, you can spend years trying to improve brain fog, anxiety, or low mood without ever addressing one of the underlying contributors. Think of your gut as the soil in a garden. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your mental clarity are like the flowers. We often spend all our time trying to fix the flowers, but if the soil is unhealthy, the flowers will continue to struggle. In Scripture, we're reminded that a cheerful heart is good medicine, but God also created us as a whole person, spirit, soul, and body. These aren't separate compartments, they work together. When we care for our physical health, we're also stewarding the incredible body God has given us. So what are the signs that your gut may be affecting your brain? One of the interesting things about gut health is that it doesn't always begin with digestive symptoms. Sometimes the first signs show up mentally or emotionally. You may notice brain fog or difficulty concentrating, feeling anxious or on edge, low mood or lack of motivation, irritability, poor sleep, feeling overwhelmed by things that normally wouldn't bother you. Maybe this sounds familiar to you. You wake up after what should have been a full night's sleep, but you're still exhausted. You walk into a room and completely forget why you went in there. You struggle to find the right words during a conversation. Small problems suddenly feel overwhelming. By mid-afternoon, you're reaching for something sweet just to get through the day. Many people assume that's just part of getting older, being busy, or not trying hard enough, but sometimes your body is actually asking for support. That doesn't mean gut health is the only reason someone experiences these symptoms, but it can be an important and often overlooked piece of the puzzle. Now, what is happening inside the gut? One possible reason for this connection is something known as increased intestinal permeability, often referred to as leaky gut. So your intestinal lining acts like a protective barrier. Its job is to allow nutrients into your bloodstream while keeping harmful substances out. But when that lining becomes damaged, tiny gaps can develop. This may allow substances that are normally kept inside the digestive tract, including bacterial components and incompletely digested food particles, to cross the gut barrier more easily. Your immune system recognizes that something isn't right to respond by creating inflammation. Think of inflammation like smoke from a fire. Even if the fire starts in one room, the smoke spreads throughout the whole house. In the same way, inflammation that begins in the gut doesn't necessarily stay in the gut. It can affect many parts of the body, including your brain, your joints, your skin, and other organs. Researchers are continuing to study exactly how inflammation influences brain function, but we know that the immune system, nervous system, and gut are deeply connected. Dr. Natasha Campbell-McBride has written extensively about this relationship between gut health and neurological and physiological symptoms. Rather than viewing the brain in isolation, we're beginning to appreciate just how interconnected the body really is. The encouraging part is that your gut lining is constantly renewing itself. When we begin removing some of the things that damage it and supplying the nutrients it needs, many people experience meaningful improvements over time. Healing isn't usually overnight, but God designed the body with an incredible capacity to repair and restore when we provide the right conditions. Now, what damages the gut in the first place? I'm glad you asked. If we understand some of the common contributors, we can begin by making choices that support healing. Some of the biggest factors include, but are not limited to, ultra-processed foods, excess sugar, chronic stress, certain medications, especially repeated antibiotic use, and then environmental toxins such as pesticides and some household chemicals. Over time, these factors disrupt the balance of the gut microbiome, weaken the gut lining, and contribute to ongoing inflammation. The good news is that many of these things we can begin addressing one step at a time. Now, how to start supporting your gut naturally? The body has an incredible ability to heal when we provide the right environment. You don't have to change everything overnight. In fact, I encourage women not to. Small, consistent changes are usually far more sustainable than trying to overhaul your entire lifestyle in one weekend. Here are a few simple places to start. Gradually start replacing ultra-processed foods with more whole foods. Reduce excess sugar. Include nourishing foods like bone broth, fermented foods, healthy fats, and fiber. Eat slowly and chew your food well to support digestion. Spend time outside in the sunshine and fresh air. Make time for prayer, rest, and healthy rhythms to calm your nervous system. And then reduce unnecessary exposure to environmental toxins where you can. You may not notice dramatic changes in just a few days, but as you consistently support your gut over weeks and months, many people begin noticing improvements in digestion, steadier energy, clearer thinking, better sleep, and a greater sense of emotional well-being. You're not simply trying to silence symptoms. You're helping create an environment where your body can function the way God designed it to. So what is the core message here? Your brain doesn't function independently from the rest of your body. The health of your gut can and will influence how you think, feel, and experience everyday life. That doesn't mean every case of anxiety, depression, or brain fog begins in the gut. Mental and emotional health are complex, and many factors can play a role, but your gut is an important piece of the puzzle that is often overlooked. If there's one thing I hope you remember from this video today is this: your body is not working against you. Often, it is merely communicating with you. When we learn to listen to those signals and begin supporting our bodies with nourishing food, restorative rest, healthy habits, and wise stewardship, we're working with the incredible design God created rather than constantly fighting against it. If today's video gave you a new perspective, I'd love for you to download the Faith-Led Women's Healthy Living Audit. It's a free resource designed to help you identify which foundational areas of your health may be affecting how you feel day to day, so you can take simple, practical steps towards better health without overwhelm. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe for more faith-based practical health education that helps you care for your body, renew your mind, and steward your health God's way. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever noticed a connection between your gut and your mood, your energy, or your mental clarity? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.